today it's been 195 years since Joseph Smith got the plates from the hill. I don't know if I should call it Hill Cumorah. I don't know. But the hill in upstate New York where Moroni buried the plates. A lot of people call it Hill Cumorah. They have the Cumorah pageant, all that stuff. I had researched that and I was kind of like, especially reading the Book of Mormon, didn't Moroni leave that location and continue traveling? The whole thing, it was just like, where, what? I think it was Oliver Cowdery that said it was Hill Cumorah, allegedly, but anyway, 195 years today, because it was September 22nd, 1827, so in 5 years it'll be 200 years. But we just passed 2 years ago, 200 years since his first vision as a young 14, almost 15-year-old boy. Then the other accounts of that first vision were, one that was criticized was the one talking to Matthias the prophet, who was a Jewish minister, but also believed that he was resurrected, one of the 12 apostles, but reincarnated. And Joseph Smith says that's not resurrection, that's of the devil, right? So that account's a little bit different than the other first visions. But so that was, over 200 years ago. And so, yeah, so an anniversary, 195 years today. And I wanted to talk about the eyebrows. So I'm seeing possible evidence that his left eyebrow is different than his right eyebrow. I don't know about that one. Okay, yeah, this is the picture archivist sent me. They were criticizing the eyebrows in my picture, saying his eyebrows are too straight. And I think they sent me this picture. See, I have their emails, but I don't have all their links anymore. I don't know. But they sent me a scholarly article. They told me about Levi Hancock and how Joseph Smith, brushed his hair forward. See, this is someone who brushes his hair forward over his ears, and his ears are sticking out behind it. So brush forward, ears are kind of coming out in between hair behind and in front of his ears. This one, not totally sure, but he's definitely got very little hair on the side of his head. But this is black top hat, and so basically the whole hacker thing, I just joined a group about, I thought it was just for history, just to see, okay, if there's anyone that knows anything, maybe someone will know. I'll just be really spiritual. The Spirit told me I'm probably never going to find out where this one is. And apparently Bathsheba Smith said that some of these should be burned, and people think this is the worst looking one, but to me, I'm like, well, this is the one. Yeah, it does. Someone was talking about a mole. This one almost looks like there's a mole there, but he looks like he's really missing a lot of hair. Is there evidence of there being a mole on the left side of his face? Now I'm looking at my picture. Maybe could be one there. I don't know, but I think it looks like it's a shorter eyebrow. I'm going to go ahead and click there. Okay. There's a dark spot there that could be, but could that be like a mole? Could that be a darker spot? Everything's sort of blown out. And so I've changed the contrast here. And so I wanted to do another video and explain the whole hacking thing, which I haven't done. Can I do that in 30 seconds? I'll try. So basically someone logged into my account on the 8th from a different city I wasn't in Fremont, California, and in Texas. And then 2 days later on the 10th, I was flagged by a moderator on the 10th for commenting in a housing group. I know I don't even hit like in a housing group. I won't even comment. I have a vivid memory of almost commenting on something in there and deleting it because there's weird psycho people, and I won't go into that story. But I was able to go to my history, and it told me who comment I commented on in a housing group. This person that's like almost 20 years younger than me, from Fremont, California. And it was a guy. Like, I would never comment on a guy's post in a housing group. And then allegedly this moderator like a couple weeks ago or a week ago said that I was criticizing people's backyards and being a bully. I'm like, what? It wasn't me. But then I thought that moderator was a crackhead and just nuts himself because his profile, I did see his comment in August, but he looked like a troll on his Facebook page. He said a bunch of perverted things, just belittling, talking about sexuality and making jokes about it. And I was just like, what the heck? Like, you look like a troll. So I just blocked him. That's end of August. But then I looked at my so you have an other inbox, and you have a spam inside your other inbox that I didn't realize existed till like a couple days ago, right? And then there was someone saying, you can't block the moderators with some strange name, not American name. I'm like, who the heck are you? So there's all these accounts that are really strange, but then he was accusing me of creating fake accounts, and just all this stuff. But I'm like, but you look like a hacker and you look like a troll. But now I think maybe something did happen, but maybe he was in on it. I don't know. But clearly someone logged in from Fremont, California, and then the bad comment was commenting on. So if you were a hacker and tried to get me in trouble, of course, you would take your account and make a comment and then log in as me and then make my comment trying to make me look bad. So it's just really, that's the story that happened, and I don't know what else happened. So if they're doing this publicly, because I don't know, I know that now I've gotten a lot more attention. I'm not still not the most popular YouTube channel, but a ton of people from Utah have seen my website. So somewhat popular in almost every state in the US looked at my website close to, except for like 4 or something. It's really crazy. But of course, it's just probably just gonna happen naturally that everyone's like, oh, I like your photo better than the other one. But I mean, I do. And I did before I even owned it. I just saw the other alleged ones and was just like, this one, these eyebrows, that's what we're gonna talk about today. So I changed the lighting so it looks a lot darker than like this right here. And even this, I've upped the contrast quite a bit to bring out some of the details. You can see he definitely still has some hair up there. It's kind of thick. If we look at like the artwork, you can see, especially right here. And this is just still what I'm really thinking. This is supposedly also by David Rogers from Life. You can see hair follicles coming out of his head, but it stops about there. I think how much pomade, and there's also Lolo Epsy or someone that talks about, she's really delves into how people did their hair back then, and they just used lard and fat and all this stuff. I do see accounts that they found, well, I mean, talking about the vest, I think they found pomade, hair pomade, straight pomade. But that's still, would that feel very good in the summertime if you're really putting a ton of that and trying to grow your hair out long and try to create, if you zoom in, I think his hair goes up to about there. So it's popped up kind of high, but he's probably using something to thicken it. But his hair's kind of thick. It's a receding hairline, and he also has a retreating forehead. I think he does have quite an angle to his forehead, but he also is losing his hair according to all the artwork. So you just take a pair of scissors and just chop it so you don't have pomade dripping down or coming down your forehead as you. He was working on a farm like a couple days before he went to Carthage. He was still physically helping build the Nauvoo temple. Did he gain some extra weight 2 years earlier when he was homebound for months? Yeah. And it maybe hadn't quite gotten his muscle back because I'm sure he lost how much weight he lost in 1839, 1840, 1839. So 1838 to 39 was when he was in jail for 6 months or so. Like skin and bones. So he lost muscle. It takes a long time to get muscle back. Your metabolism is gone. So as you're being fed again, you're going to get fatter before you get your muscle back and get your metabolism back. Okay. And then he's housebound because people are trying to get him in 1842. I don't know how many months. I know in September he was in hiding. He came out just to see David Rogers and get the painting done. He was still in hiding. That is in the story of Junius F. Wells. So yeah, he could with a little bit higher BMI, might have been a little bit bigger. Don't know. It happens. So right eyebrow quite a bit thicker, left eyebrow thinner. This here's his right eyebrow. The eyebrow hairs continue on past his eye. Here's the end of his eye. His eyebrow hairs continue on. Um, this could be his left eyebrow. It looks like they're not really as thick, but I definitely think from this one, it looks like his eyebrow hairs stop well before the end of his eye. And I think looking at this one, that's why I joined these other groups. And so I thought that moderator was moderating the one about history, but then it turns out he was just the housing group. And I had to really kind of search to figure that out a couple days ago because I'm like, it's just so much drama with the moderator too. I'm just like, gosh, this is insane. But he just seemed crazy. I really didn't. He should not be posting such inappropriate things and be moderator for anything that mentions the Church of Christ Latter-day Saints. We're sort of seeing a mole right there too, but his eyebrow hairs seem really thinner on his left eyebrow. That's what I think. But let's go ahead and look at. So I didn't like in my last video that so you see I've changed the contrast and upped it, and then I made it a little bit darker. And then I tried undoing this, and I tried doing this video earlier. Let's get rid of that bottom thing so that I can, come on, go away right there. All right, well, let's just hit new layer, less outline. His right eyebrow in a brighter color. So if I zoom in, and I'm just sort of, what I thought I would do with this video is do less symbolically and just really sketch what I'm seeing. See, it kind of dips down like that. It also just dips down. So there's a lot of different shades. So here's like a darker. So that's the darkest part, right? And then we could just do even lighter. Change that color. Maybe like, oh, then there's some lighter hairs around here. Maybe something going on there. And if we select that layer, if you're going to do this on your own, and I've told people to do this, but I've never said this is what forensic scientists do, so I wanted to be accurate and see, do they do. Okay, and then what's going on here is layer 14 ended up below the death mask. Let's bring layer 14 all the way up to the top. Where's 13? Oh, that's what happened. Where's layer 13? So layer 13 moved. There was a layer 13. Is it hidden? So I'm redoing what was, I think, layer 13. Okay. So now the tip of the cursor has to be exactly on that line, because if I click off of it, it's going to unhighlight layer 14. Just look at that. That's amazing. But it's like I don't usually do this because I'm trying to do every little detail. I'm just going to take time and really look at the eyebrows here. Look at that. You see how the eyebrow hairs come down like that, and these are like that. And this is sort of coming down. That is coming down slightly differently, but it does come down right there. So anyway, we could just change the size of this and make it smaller. So it's like with camera distortion things, sometimes the size of things can be different. But it's a lot of fine detail. I guess I could bring that out like that. Bring that back out. We can just kind of adjust it and see, but the shape of it is amazing. So if I take this out and bring it back, this is what I'm fascinated by, the right eyebrow. Other people aren't so much, but And then the shadows are totally different, but if they had a light coming from below, I think you would see that this is lit up, that this, you get a little bit of skin, see how it just kind of drops down like that. And then there's a little extra on the brow bone. That's more something you see in the artwork because it just looks like a shadow. You're like, you can't tell if there's, but you can see the eyebrow kind of etches in, comes down, comes back up. Like I draw eyebrows. I will sit and sketch people's eyebrows. And then of course, you put fat and lard, it's going to move the eyebrows hairs around and make it hard to see some of the eyebrow hairs. It's going to kind of, the finer, the more vellus eyebrow hairs that maybe would have been caught because there's very side dramatic lighting and lighting coming from below. So it's really bringing out the details on the right side of his face, but blowing out the right side of his face. Okay, so that right eyebrow. I just wanted to do the eyebrows in a not dark purple and dark blue so you can't see it. I want to make sure you guys see this. Okay, and then this is the sketch of his left eyebrow. So if you're using the newest version of Photoshop, you have to use, of course, you aren't really seeing eyebrow hairs up there. You're seeing maybe damage from when he died, but according to Dr. Nell's hair, there's also damage before he died from remodeling. And so again, looking at the artwork, you're like, okay, looking at the skull, you're seeing, there was some stuff going on. So that's why we're looking at the artwork, the eyebrows. But you can see this is like a furrow in the eyebrow. And then it's just a much straighter. And so I was really highlighting a whole lot more there because you can sort of see there's a little bit of a darker thing. So in the artwork, you can see some eyebrow hairs that are popping up. If you look at these different copies of the forward-facing painting, this was from the Salt Lake Tribune. This is a photo of the forward-facing painting. But I think more looking at the Carter, just looking right there, you can sort of see this is kind of happening. It's sort of having an odd coming up like that. And yeah, but I think they also were just trying to make him look symmetrical. And then we don't know who did this, but this looks very similar. And yeah. And so interestingly, the archivist in 2017 was like, your guys' eyebrows, they're too straight. They're too straight. But they match the death mask. And then they sent me this one. This is one of Maudsley's where the eyebrows look round and not straight. But when you look at these eyebrows here, they look really straight. I think he's furrowing that brow. But just even looking there, it's like not a rounded eyebrow. But then what that one comment in the book by Shannon Michael Tracy, he threw in this quote by Benjamin Franklin Johnson. His eyes were shaped a long line. His eyebrows were not arched, but ran straight across. And then you do see that in pictures of the sons on the very bottom, that the eyebrows were like that. So I won't keep this video much longer because I was already trying to keep it shorter, but I think Frederick's eyes sort of had an arch, but definitely Joseph Smith III. They look really straight to me, especially here. This is where I can really see straight, and then he's got the swoop. And so in my picture, he's got the swoop that you see in the artwork. So you can see this unique feature. He's got the swoop. He's got the swoop. drawings. You can see the swoop there. Swoops on the other side there, but actually really you see it in Maudsley's. You can see it there. You see that? How there's just this line coming up like that, and there's a line coming up like that. So, yeah, those were the eyebrows. I just did some brighter colors. I'm just going to show you each of them again. So what did I have? Oh yeah, and then I didn't show you this. This was that's the death mask. Anything that actually looked like an actual eyebrow hair. You can see that. Even though you don't see the furrow on the brow that the people at the log were trying to talk about, you can see sort of this shadow right there. Okay. Do you see how there's a shadow? Like it's like a wrinkle. You see that right there at the same angle. So if I just went right there, there it is. You can see how well it matches, which is really well. Those were the eyebrow hairs I could see when I zoomed in super close. And it's hard to see very many hairs. Those look like eyebrow hairs. But I did sketch that one furrow on the brow, which when you zoom out, you can see it on the death mask and you can see it on my photo. So those are the left and right eyebrows. You can see that wrinkle. You see that wrinkle. You see that eyebrow. See that eyebrow. Eyebrows are amazing. The nose is actually amazing. I think I made the death mask kind of an odder. It's at a different, it's a little too low, the photo I took of it, but I was really trying to be far away. So it was a little bit better, little less distorted, but anyway. That's just all I have for today. I'll try to just keep this super short. And that's just the story of being hacked. If you have any advice, I just don't trust the Wi-Fi I'm on, but there's nothing I can do about that. I just wish people didn't try to hurt people. Hurt people, and people that bully always think they're like a Robin Hood, and this person does. No one deserves it. You're gonna find out in the last day, and it's gonna be so painful at that point. Any bullying, anyone you called a fool, anyone who called stupid or criticized them for their grammar, you're gonna feel bad. And I really had compassion trying to protect other people from being embarrassed for what they said in 2009. But at the same time, it actually was more good for me in the case that it just stays up. So yeah, sure, just keep that up, the juvenile instructor. But I don't like the bullying. I've been criticized. I get really bad brain fog and can call stupid and stuff. But Heavenly Father has just, taught me that I'm not. I was able to get almost a 4 point last time I went back to school. I worked really hard, did well on my tests. So I know I'm not stupid. I don't have a PhD. I'm not a forensic anthropologist. Other people are. And it's cool that I got to talk to them, and we'll just see what people want to say or not say. I don't speak for other people, and so things I'm saying here are things that I've said since 2017, but I can continue analyzing this way because this is how I do it. That isn't how they do it. So there's just a lot of inaccurate things, people being unethical, stealing things, copying way too much, quoting way too much without giving credit, hacking, stealing a movie script, almost word for word. Like if I did a movie board, which was very, very unique. I know no one ever did my movie board version of my movie. Someone took at least half of it. I'd say about half, but I'm sure they tried to, but if you change 75%, it's legal. And I don't know if it got to that point, but it was too many things that I know did not match up perfectly with actual history. And I won't say anymore, but it was just found that out in June, and then all this other stuff happening July, and then getting hacked in August. It's been a hard summer. And then I also was on minor drain. My heart was going way down, lower than it should have been, even though that helped me. I've been dealing with a lot of medication changes for my autonomic dysfunction. So I get a lot of brain fog. So really bad brain fog yesterday. But wanted to do it because it just is fun. It's just really fun to do, and it's been great no matter what happens. And then I just feel the spirit. I feel good about this, and other people do. Other people do too. They just look at this picture, and as I do, and we just see a good guy. I think he has light in his eyes. I don't think he would hurt and abuse anyone. He just looks like someone that would care about people. But he also looks like he has a massive trapezius muscle and that he has a lot of muscle. And he looks tall. And so that picture of Mads Madison, he looks tall. Looks like he has more muscle than the Locket photo. So I was just like, love to see a picture of Mads Madison. And they posted it. I'm like, I can see some similarities. I don't know. But definitely the height looked really different. And there are certain things that definitely look different from Mads Madison to that Locket photo. But that Locket photo looks so similar to Bertha Madison and those people. Daniel Larson was descended through Bertha, and so was his cousin, his nephew, Locke Mackay, was descended through the second wife of Joseph Smith III. She's wearing a locket. A lot of people wore lockets. Joseph gave away a lot of pocket watches. Eliza Arsenal held on to hers till the day she died, right? So, yeah. Anyway, have a good day.